Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Daniel, and I'm part of Landing.Jobs team. Today, we are here to talk about data and the state of data science. We will present the winner of Landing.Jobs Data Challenge that had more than 140 participants with more than 43,000 tokens invested by the jury and the tech Portuguese community. You can find all the projects submitted on the chat. I will leave the link there, as well as download for free our Tech Careers report. That is a complete report about salaries, motivations, and tech career trends in Portugal. Right now, I want to invite Isabel to the screen. She was the winner of the challenge with the project Data for Tech. Congratulations, Isabel. Show us your project.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Let me share my screen. I guess I'm not able to share it. Daniel, it is okay for you to remove a source and so let's try again.
Yeah, I can do it.
Thank you. I'm still not able to share my screen.
Isabel, if you want, you can speak about your project instead
Okay.
of sharing. Maybe
Okay.
it's easier.
Okay. Again, good afternoon. I'm so glad to be here. I'm going to present the main result of the project. I think Daniel has shared the link that you can find the details of this challenge. So my name is Isabel Marcolino. I'm a TSM analyst at British American Tobacco. I'm Brazilian, but currently I'm living in Portugal. The goal of this project was to analyze data from the survey 2021. I have applied statistical tools, machine learning analysis, and data visualization. And I used Jupyter Notebook with Python 3 and Power BI for data visualization. About the statistical analysis, I have found out from the data that work experience, English level, age, and salary fairness has a positive correlation with the salary. And when age, experience, English level increases, the salary increases too, and the same the other way around. Also, an interesting result was that remote work opinion has a slight correlation to changing jobs next 6 months, and analyzing it better, we can conclude that workers with more flexibility to work remote due to COVID or not are less likely to change their jobs in the next few months. You can see also in the link an interesting result about how English level influenced the salary average. People who are native or bilingual, which means fluent in English, has the same level of salary to people that has elementary English, but more working experience. It's an interesting result showing the importance of being the knowledge of this language. Another interesting nice result with metric we can get from the data was the female representativity. Roles with less female representativity get from the survey. Less than 5% of female representativity are CTO and solutions architect, and roles with more female representativity, which means more than 25%, was data scientist, data engineer, quality assurance in testing, UX, UI designer. From the data, we could also get the company's status, and unicorn companies tend to provide higher and fairness salaries, and their workers are less likely to change their jobs. We cannot find correlation between salary and a number of language tech worker, no. But when you look into Go Professional, there's a slightly correlation between those two variables. Go developers, as we can see from the survey 2021, earn higher salaries, and their backgrounds are in multiple programming language. So developer who have background in PowerShell, HTML, JavaScript, Python, and SQL are potential candidates to adopt Go as well. Finally, I have performed the association rule algorithm in order to understand what languages are known by the tech professional, what languages are known together. And JavaScript is the most popular language, being learned with more sort of language. And typical tech stacks were found, like as full stack, backend, front-end developer. So based on this analysis, a person who wants to be a data scientist should consider study Python and SQL. For finish this presentation, I have wrote a quick roadmap with next step we can apply to this project. And due to this survey is performed annually, we can apply a temporal analysis considering past data and data from future survey. We can also improve and focus on metrics this project has provided, and the report Landing.Jobs has already done. Data visualization, statistical analysis in one dashboard, and publish it online in order to increase the availability and maintenance. And we can also develop tools using machine learning algorithms, classifier algorithms, in order to help tech workers who are looking for new jobs or relocation. Thanks a lot for your attention. Please follow the link in order to check my project. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you again and congratulations for winning our data challenge. Don't forget to check the link, and next week we will share a presentation in video of Isabel presenting this project again. Right now, I want to ask my fellow Pedro Prats to join the meeting. We'll start our panel of discussion about the state of data science.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Are you guys hearing me? All good? Yeah. So, hello, everyone. Good afternoon for those who are having an afternoon right now. Let me introduce the panel that will have a chat about data science. I will ask Miguel, João, and Lenia to turn on their cameras. We want to look at them. First off, we have Miguel. Miguel hasn't yet turned on his camera. Okay, I'll wait. We are not used to this platform yet. The buttons are always hiding. Well, I'll start with Lenia, Lenia Mestrinho, Executive Director at Nova Data Science Knowledge Center at the Nova SPE. Uh, among a lot of other things, Lenia helps companies with their vision and goals. The Nova Data Center knowledge, the Nova Data Science Knowledge Center aims to advance knowledge about data-driven decision making and its application in society. We also have here João Paulo Figueira, a data scientist at TBLX, the truck and buses division of Daimler, an old friend of Landing.Jobs. You guys have been doing some amazing work around digitalization and machine learning, machine intelligence. He also has a quite career. I was impressed when I was investigating a little bit, researching about João, that he started in the 80s working on neural networks. So kudos for that. Also, Miguel Moreira, Vice President at the Data Science Portuguese Association, which is an organization set to promote data science, both nationally and internationally, helping represent the sector and innovation within companies. My name is Pedro Prats. I'm a product manager at Landing.Jobs. I have worked as a CRM consultant, solutions architect, project manager, and now product manager. And I will be your moderator for today. So without further ado, the first topic would be the definition of data science itself. And a little shameless plug here. We have just opened a position at Landing.Jobs at our team for a data analyst. And I must tell you that it wasn't easy to choose the name data analyst. What does that mean? Well, I think as a lot of companies, I suspect we want this person to single-handedly solve all our problems and identify the problems and solve them and do that within the first week. I'm kidding, but I think if you ask 3 people what is data science, you'll have at least 4 different answers. So that will be the first topic. I will perhaps start with Miguel, and that's it. Miguel, what do you understand by data science?
Oh, Pedro, great topic. Actually, we started 3 years ago at the SPA. Let's say, our target is to basically democratize the access of data science to the society in general, both professionals and companies. Obviously, it's broad and it's ambitious, but curiously, one of the first problems that we faced was exactly the definition. So what you said, we in total agreement with you. You know, you ask 10 people, you get 10 different answers. And again, this is not a Portuguese problem; it's an international problem. And the thing is, where do you learn? Who gets to learn? What are the prerequisites? What do you do? What are the different branches? You need a PhD and a mathematical background, or you can be, let's say, a logistics analyst that learns to use data science techniques. And that was a tremendous challenge. And actually, our response to that was a project that started about 6 months, 9 months ago. And that project is exactly to define a template for the profession. What are the different branches of the profession? What are the different levels of the profession? What are the prerequisites? What you need to do in order to apply to be a data analyst? We're going to be publishing that in about 1 month time, but I can give you a little bit of a preview of what the conclusion that we got to. And again, this is not true or right or wrong, because there's not a consensus around this, but we basically went around defining 4 paths, professional paths. One is data analyst, exactly. The second one is data engineer. The third is a machine learning engineer. and the fourth is a data scientist, okay? And we define 3 levels of proficiency for all of them, being the first level, what we call it the foundation level, that for now on, our proposition is to be a common level for all the 4th degrees, meaning that if you want to follow a career, we're going to, what we have done was we did a compilation investigation, we hired expert people to help us on that. We have created an independent committee of personalities from academy, from the industry, from the science, to basically consult with us. And we think we have a pretty solid starting point. What are we defining here? The skills that you need in each of the branches and the levels of proficiency that you need in order to be an intermediate or to be an advanced. As a follow-on, what we're going to do, and hopefully successful, is to do certifications. What we commit ourselves to do is to, in order to attract more people to the profession, is exactly to allow them to do an exam, in some cases an exam, in other cases an exam plus a business case that they have to defend, or a project, prove years of experience, and we will award them a professional certificate that we think is going to be valid to employers. Who wants to employ a machine learning engineer will know that at least he may have a study here or there, but he will have this certificate. But again, not going too far, we exactly found out that if you want to open, you have to be clear around what is the profession, what you need to learn, where can you learn it, and how much experience you need to have. So hopefully we'll be contributing to at least in our way, a little bit to solve this problem and to do what we want to do, which is attract more people to the profession and attract more companies to use the techniques.
Mm. And I think that is not only important to the talent side itself, so the professionals, data science, but also for companies, to know what they need exactly, who they need, and what are the skills that they need for that position that is opening. Like we are having right now at Landing.Jobs, we have these needs, and we figured out that a data analyst is what we need. But perhaps we might be wrong, or other companies might think differently. Lenia, what's your take on this?
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. So, I think in a very simple and a very straightforward way, we can go for something like extracting knowledge from data. But if I may customize, let's say the definition based on the work that we do at the Data Science Knowledge Center, I would go for something more like having an impact through data, or using data, let's say, to serve our society. What I think is important to emphasize here is that it is in fact a very interdisciplinary field, and I think when we say these, or when we think about these, we always go towards the more, let's say, hard skills of data science, like programming, tech, maths and stats, and so on. But I would like to emphasize the other part as well, because I think that business and management is really important about it. And I'm saying these not only in terms of the common business understanding that these people need in order to solve, in order to develop the project and to solve the problems, and understanding the context, understanding the goals, understanding who are the stakeholders, key numbers about the problems, and so on. But also other sides, like conveying the message, like bridging the gap between the complex understanding of people with hard skills with people from the business with no skills or basic skills in terms of data science or programming and so on. The design part of it is really important. I have thorough discussions with my data scientists when we have to design mock-ups, for instance, for our partners, because everything will be implemented in a process or in a software. So that part as well is really important, to take care of the change management process that we need in order to be successful on the project. So I'm just mentioning these things because I think they are crucial for, they are key success factors, I would say, for the data science projects. And I continue seeing them missing in some of the data scientists that we hire or that we have at our schools. So I think it's really important, this dimension of interdisciplinarity of the field. And let's say, do not underestimate or neglect the business and the management side of it.
I totally get you. There's sometimes the urge to go and be a specialist that focus only on one area, but actually a full professional will be always a mix of interdisciplinary skills. And João, what would you add to this?
But well, basically, most of the ideas are now on the table. Were said already. I would say that I would have one proposal for the naming of it, which would be to change the name from the singular to the plural. We should actually call these data sciences, like we have life sciences or earth sciences, because actually you have a lot of stuff that relates to this. I've to name a few. I've already solved problems through graph theory, through optimization, and discrete optimization. Sometimes you need sometimes to have a very broad set of skills and understand a lot of correlated areas, and really it's not just one science. There's a lot of sciences and disciplines and techniques that you need to add to it. Concerning the definition, I just love one from Cassie Kozyrkov. She's at Google. She's a chief decision maker, whatever one of those sexy names that they have there. And she says, well, it's basically anything that allows you to bring value out of data. So this means that if you're a data analyst, then you're into data science as well. So and this is really a broad definition, like has been said, and yeah, it's not just one thing. Lenny said a very important very important thing. The figures, the numbers, the algorithms, the models, without the business context, what are they? So we need also to have a lot of data scientists, almost like a 360 radar, right? We need to be looking at at a lot of the spectrum of what's going on around us, which makes it a very interesting job, by the way.
And what advice would you guys give to someone that is perhaps finishing school and going into the professional world, into a career in data science, or perhaps someone that is reshaping their career and was working in like a developer or something like that? It's the common path to, and then move to data science. Who would like to pick this one? The advice for newcomers.
Allow me. First of all, don't believe the hype that this is the sexiest job in the 21st century. It's tedious. You will get lots and lots of time where you will be looking at your computer, running long pipelines for shaping up the data, searching for the best hyperparameters. I mean, there are some authors out there that will tell you right off the bat that data science is a boring job. Of course, this is an overstatement as well, but you need to have the chops for this. I mean, if you want to be on the glitz every day, working on the latest model that comes out of the fanciest lab in MIT or somewhere else, then this is not going to happen. This is a work like most of the other jobs that we have that are out there that require persistence that require that you love it. So if you look at a simple linear regression and can make some useful predictions out of it, and that thing does not rock your world, you're not a data scientist. Okay, this is very important to understand. in my view, I've always loved this part of the business, and having this notion of having this superpower of getting something new out of the data, for me, is the most compelling thing out there. And I can cope with anything else. They're like the very long hours that sometimes you need to spend watching your screen scroll down very slowly as the neural network is performing the iterations. Because at the end of the day, you're going to provide something that is amazing to your customer, to your company, to whatever, to whomever needs that value. And so this means that, first of all, make sure that this is the thing that you love, because you're going to have to study a lot of maths. You have to study a lot of new technologies that are coming out like a breakneck speed. Almost every day you have a new model for NLP, a new model for recognizing scenes, a new model for whatever. And unless you are really passionate about this, consider something else. Otherwise, man, this is the best job in the world.
Thank you, João. Miguel, perhaps I think you can add a lot of stuff here.
No, I totally agree with João. I think it's there's like a understatement regarding the attractiveness of the profession is not for everyone, especially some of the branches. Obviously, consistent with what I said, I think you can be like a light data scientist or a really deep, heavy data scientist. I mean, there are different branches that require different skills. The technology, and especially software, has created easier ways to access this technology. For example, at the SPA, we're right now focusing on a project to define, to create a digital innovation hub around a single theme, a single application of data science, which is prediction models, predictive models. And we think that there are ways to actually use as a service capabilities and business models to bring these capabilities to the companies in an easier way, meaning that you don't need really to go through all that thorough process. You can use technology, maybe you can use experts here and there, but I think the biggest challenge is exactly to make it easier for companies to use some of the more mature processes, because like João said, there are processes that are quite mature, there are models that are easy to apply to make a sales forecast or a stocks forecast or financial and so forth. Basically, if you look at managers, a manager basically makes decisions, and probably 60 or 70% of the time that he makes decisions upon are based on predictions. How can data science help to make better predictions? I think that's a great challenge for us. So we have to work on the easiest part to make it easier and attractive to use with less complex skills. But totally with João that some of the branches and where maybe science is coming from requires very deep knowledge of mathematics, of computer science, and also the business interface, because like Lenia said, without putting it in a business context or without having a business clearance to actually use the data and make a decision. I know we have discussed this. There's nothing more frustrating for a data scientist to have an excellent research, but nothing will be done with that data. You know, we have some examples, and that's very frustrating. So the business interface, specifying the problem, and then again acting upon the result of the research is fundamental. So I think totally with my colleagues at the panel about being an interdiscipline, and again there is a side where probably science coming from that it's quite complex, it's not for anyone, but again being consistent with my initial statement, I think there are industry, we have to make it easier to use to the everyday company and everyday professional. And I think we are aiming towards that, and technology will probably give us also some solutions in that side. On that side.
I think you were talking about one part of it, which is also how organizations are using these well, it's not a new field. Well, we are still discovering it, how it fits in our in our companies of today. And I would ask Lenia not only if she wants to add to this topic, but also how do you see the evolution of data science within companies in the past years?
Thank you, Pedro. So just adding to what my colleague said, and I think this is an advice for data scientists or for everyone, especially if you are students, you need to try to get your hands dirty before taking the decision. So, do this type of competitions like Landing.Jobs did, work with the knowledge center, work with the community, go to events, conferences, everything that you can in order to fully understand what the career, let's say, is about. And then, as João also mentioned, you need to be eager to learn every single day because it is an evolving field, and you need to keep up to date with the knowledge. So that's really important. And the other thing is that previously, or maybe in our generations, we were used to have our parents, let's say, trying to motivate us to become doctors or lawyers because these was like prestigious professions, well paid, and so on. And maybe right now the parents are changing their minds and maybe trying to convince their kids to to become data scientists or these types of professions. And my point here is like, try, of course, to balance all the fascination about the salaries and the good payments that people have with the within the industry, and also, if you manage to join the industry, balance a little bit this carrot of salary and the impact that you are having in organizations, because I think that every other day I speak with organizations and they are always struggling to create and to develop robust data science teams. So if you stay like just 3 or 4 months in an organization, it's almost impossible, to create some impact, because, if someone offers you more, I don't know, 200 or 300 euros, people will be just like jumping around. And it's difficult, of course, for, organizations to create something on data science in this context. So yeah, I mean, try to balance a little bit your interests, and also salary versus the impact that you want to have in your career and in your future. Oh, and I think you asked me another question, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the how.
Lenia, sorry, is that so? How do you see the evolution of data science within companies? So we're talking a lot about how professionals from data science
Mhm.
relate to data science, but what about companies?
Yeah, so that's a very good point, and I do think that the answer to that question might different between the several economic sectors. Let's say, for instance, at the Data Science Knowledge Center, we work quite a lot with NGOs, so with the nonprofit sector. And a few months ago, in fact, we did a survey and then a report where we questioned about 250 NGOs in Portugal. And what we wanted to understand was exactly how are they involving in terms of data-driven decision making. And the main conclusion here was that there is still quite a lot of work to do on this regard. So almost 80% of these organizations were unfamiliar with the concept of data science. However, once explained, they understood it, and they saw a benefit of applying it on their organization. There were a lot of barriers perceived, to develop or to adopt data science, like lack of qualified personnel, lack of IT infrastructure, lack of funding as well, and more challenging, I would say. I think more than 80% said they were still collecting data physically. So this is really, is really important for organizations to understand. We also have this Data for Change competition where we develop at the Data Science Knowledge Center a data science for social good project every year. We see some rising interest in terms of the competition, but what we when we go and do some basic data audit to these organizations is that just a handful of them have in fact data to build something. So this is really important, and again, there are still a lot of work to do on the NGO side. On the company side, I feel that we are advancing slower than what I would expect, and with a lot of struggles. I think, you know, the one that I mentioned previously is a very important one of talent retention. But then, and this is mostly from the experience that we have working with the companies and the training executives on the executive education at Nova SPE, is that there's still a lot of difficulties, like prioritizing the projects and scoping the projects. So it seems that you know, some management and leadership, they lack some skills in this regard. Then the other thing is that the majority of the projects that we are seeing that are being developed are very small things, like pilot projects. So we do need, you know, to scale and to have more impact within the organizations in this regard. And maybe a third or a fourth topic will be to increase the understanding in terms of ethics, in terms of discrimination, in terms of privacy. Let's say the negative impacts of data science, because they are very important as well. So in some small progresses, some people, of course, are doing very innovative things and very, you know, enthusiastic projects, but there's still a long road to go.
João, I really would like your take on this.
Sorry. So about the state of data science in companies. Let me give you my perspective from a relatively large corporation. I think we are now over the honeymoon phase there. People are looking at this with a bit of higher understanding about what data science can do, and the results that can be achieved with all these techniques. And now, basically, we are very much focused on the value that we need to provide to the internal stakeholders. I follow pretty much what Lenny said, because previously, like until 2018, I was working in a Portuguese company, and these issues are. I can understand these issues because I live them, and this change by changing to a big corporation, international corporation, changed a bit my perspective on this. People don't believe anymore that data science is like an Harry Potter wand that is going to solve all of their problems, and they are not throwing good money after bad on projects that are just there to prove a point. Of course, we need to do some research, and we need to understand that our data is good or not to provide certain results that we need. Especially now that we are working with that we are undergoing a tidal change in the automotive industry, right? With the electrification, at least with the electrification and the connectivity, now we see a very pragmatic outlook on data science, where we understand that these things can provide results, and we need to understand exactly what is the result that we are going to get. So it's actually a tool that has just a slight difference regarding all the other tools, is that there is a measure of added variability, because data might not agree with you, right? So it's an issue that is different from software development, right? Data may just not agree with you with your idea. So and that brings an extra level of risk to the projects, but I believe that right now, at least in this new setting that I am, I find this I find a better understanding of these issues. Of course, there's still a long way to go, especially when you are in a company that's making a shift from the physical to the virtual. But it's pretty much well understood what we need to do, and the value that we need to derive from this. And it's not only glitzy projects. Sometimes we have to do some stuff that nobody else is never going to know that we did it. So no glory, apparently. I'm not sure if I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. And also, I was thinking here, now that we have data science as something that is within companies for good, how will be the career paths for people who are going into a new company and starting a career there? Where can they see themselves in 5 years, 10 years? What are the career paths for a data scientist right now? I would love to hear your answer, Miguel.
Great, Pedro. Well, again, in this open perspective to attract more people, we believe that we're going to have, and again, organization models will change. I think we will have organizations in which you have a data science department, that there will be let's say, the really concentration of deep experts and not so much outside that area, and you will tend to have organizations in which it's decentralized. Maybe you'll have data science expert in the financial department, one in the logistics department, one in the production department, one in quality, one in marketing, and so forth. I think we're going to evolve more towards the second branch. Obviously, will be a mix of both. But by saying this, I think you can have another profession and get your expertise on data science improved. So I think it can be a skill to add on to another set of skills on a different profession. And as we know, it can be applied to a doctor, to a nurse, to a financial analyst, and so forth. So it's basically the capabilities of extracting intelligence from data. It's so powerful and so spread out that I think to democratize, we're going to have to open more paths for the people to actually be an expert and work on data science 100% of their time, or to, learn some of the techniques and some of the tools and apply it as a complement, like an analyst uses today advanced Excel. Maybe tomorrow we'll be able to learning more techniques and using different, more powerful tools. We'll be able to use data science techniques in order to make a better job. So I think we need to think in that way. One is not replacing the other. I think it's a complement, but once it gets to be used by more people as an add-on to existing professions, I think the real power for the economy and for the society will come around.
Thank you, Miguel. Lenia, would you have something to add here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an answer that will be more prepared to answer in a few years with more data and more experience. But I think there are a couple of things that people can think of as a career path. And let's say starting with a more traditional one, we can just see, let's say, a focus on responsibility and see people go from data analyst or data science to data science lead, manager, director, and so on. So increasing the scope in terms of people and in terms of projects. We can see people evolving in terms of a specific expertise. So focus on a technique, a methodology, or even something more related again with ethics and privacy, which is not that much technical sometimes. We can also see people acquiring experience in the field and more operational, let's say, experience, and then go towards more strategic roles. We can also see people go more for research or teaching, or the academic side or the research side of data science, and the business side as well. So moving from, let's say, data scientist, a pure data science, to a translator, for instance. But I mean, these are the more logical paths right now. But I think, and I mean, focusing on the professions or jobs of the future, people will have so many opportunities. So they can become, I don't know, data detectives, personal data brokers, cyber crime rehabilitation counselors. So many things that the world will be the limit. So I think it will be very interesting to see this profession evolving over the next couple of years.
Thank you, Lania. João, 30 years ago, you were programming neural networks on 8086 machine. What do you see yourself doing in 30 years?
Look, I'm a very special kind of geek, I still am a geek. I still love the math. I still love the programming. I still love all of this. So I this is what I see myself doing, right? Because I really got a jolt for this. This was a few years ago when I was doing something else, developing software, and suddenly I understood that we had an issue there that was trying to understand why our vehicles. How do you understand that the vehicle is being robbed in terms of fuel, or that is refueled? And I did it with a simple linear regression. And for me, this was like mind blown, and this started from there, and this is who I am. So as Lania said, I mean, every person is going to have its own career path, and I don't believe that you can see like a traditional career path for data scientists or data axis in the future. In more structured companies like Daimler, maybe you will see already some definitions in place, like people attending to being data stewards, because there's lots of data coming from all over, and you need to make sure that data is made available, that it's cleaned, and it has all the legal requirements on top of them. Maybe you can become the future chief data officer of the company. I still see myself working with data when I retire, and I especially hope not to retire, and will keep on working as long as I can. But hey, this is me, and this is probably going to be my future. My greatest dream is to see my next product being used by someone and having it change his life or her life or their lives. And this is basically the best thing that for me is my future, right? But I do understand that other people will have other dreams, and this is going to basically depend on what they want, what the company has to offer, what are their background skills. Because if you have a background in let's say in economics, maybe you will be better prepared for a managerial job. I mean, the horizon is clear for us.
Thank you very much.
Pedro,
yeah.
Pedro, if I may,
Please.
just to add on what my colleague
Please,
said, yeah. I think there's like also an effect, like a ripple effect of data science in other professions. For example, all the legal part, all the ethical part, which can develop real experts on the humanities and other professions. You know, right now you have special lawyers just specialized on data, and that brings another dimension that we at the association are quite focused, which is the ethical aspect. You know, obviously, it's a big theme. We all know it, but we should not forget to mention it because it's important for the society. It's important for us also as professionals because what we are building is very powerful applications that eventually will have a big influence on the way the society works. And if we don't embed those with the right, let's say, human, social, and ethical features, you know, we might, make bad decisions, and as a society, end up as a worse. We all know that. It's just that it's something that needs to be addressed in parallel. So maybe not losing the focus as a career path. Maybe there will be a ripple effect there as being experts from other fields that take advantage also to specialize in data. And we, from the data perspective, we need them because sometimes we're not the best judges to define what is ethical, what it's not ethical.
So we have interdisciplinarity here that can go all the way to philosophy in data science, and that's true. And also, your point was pretty important, I think, given the past few years, what we have seen in elections in the United States and, well, in many places. There's some stuff in data science that we shouldn't neglect. So thank you very much, Miguel. I have only one further question before we go into the Q&A, and that is the future. So what do you guys see as the most important trends and evolutions of data science? Lenia, perhaps you would like to pick up this one.
Sure. I will answer based on what I would like to see, let's say, in the future. And one thing, as I mentioned somehow previously, is for sure to see more responsible, as Miguel mentioned, but more scalable AI projects, because this is super important for us to achieve the real impact. The other thing that connects to this one is, I think, to see data as a core business function, or let's say having CDOs, for instance, more related or reporting directly to CEOs. Because I think people tend to underestimate the complexity of data projects or successful data projects. And I think as a third one, maybe to see data science being used more towards the improvement of transparency in our society, especially from a governmental point of view. So I think these are the three main things that I would like to see in the next few years.
Miguel, what is the future like?
Yeah, great. We are from technology, we love what we do, and we tend to be fascinated with new things, faster computers, smarter algorithms, things like GPT-3 was the big trend at the end of last year. Amazing, what you can do with that. But honestly, I think we have to make a little step in a pause because this will only be good if we can bring it to society, like my colleague said, like Lenny was saying, on the proper way, but also in a more general way, because there are fields like prediction models in which are so mature right now in companies, the industry is not taking advantage of it. So if I would have to make a choice between having more fancy, more exciting things, or making just the things that are stable, accessible to the common company, I would go this way. So I would say priorities for us as citizens, as technologists, will be to make it more accessible because it's stable, it's proven, it's not that expensive currently. We just have to find a way not to, put this label on everything that it's related with data science as inaccessible to a company or to an average business person. So this would be my take on it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. João, and for you, the future of data science, where will it be?
I think that my personal perspective is more on the legal and ethical side, and I believe that we will have to deal in the community with these issues. Right now, this is one concern that we have to deal with day in, day out in our operations at Daimler. And this poses some interesting questions, like what do you do when your model requires 2 years worth of data, but now you can only retain it for 2 months, right? And this is going to be interesting because probably we will have to develop different models and models to learn and then to teach the upcoming models. And this is something that we need to address. It's very interesting the work that's being done nowadays with generative adversarial networks to generate data sets, training data sets, synthetic training data sets, because actually you sometimes you just cannot have the data. Of course, if this is machine data, no problem. But if the machine is your car, then that's a problem, and it's a real problem. And that this is going to be an issue because, from the perspective that I see this, there is a huge concern about staying on the right side of the law and staying on the right side of ethics for all that concerns these companies. So this is going to be very interesting because it's going to be a sea change.
Thank you very much. Guys, we have here a few questions. We're almost on time. So I have here a couple of questions that I think are related to the first one that we discussed here. That is, what is data science? So we have here Miguel Costa asking, could data science be a mean to predict a pandemic at its early stages? So is what data science does? Would like to pick this one, Miguel Costa.
Quickly. So if I understood correctly, I mean, I'm not sure if we can predict pandemics, but for sure we can learn, some of the features or understand more some of the causes in order to better understand when or how things are deviating, let's say, from normal. So yeah, I mean, for sure we can have some learnings based on what we lived and based on the multitude of projects that were developed in terms of data science for these specific pandemics.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to add on that that it's usually data based on historical data, data science, and in this case we have not had a pandemic in the last 100 years, and before of that there was not data available. I think obviously that learning curve was painful. Shame on us if we won't be able to predict the next one, because now we have the experience. But this one I think was really technically very difficult to predict because of that, no data.
And we have also here Oglis Despagne. I'm sorry, Oglis. That's the best way I could say your name. How do you involve a developer with low experience in data science? So I think here what we're talking about is someone who is starting to be a developer and soon realizes that perhaps data science is the way to go. How do you make that move?
How do you make it personally or within the company? The company can always provide you with support for that. But if you are doing that step on your own, then you should probably look for specific training on that. Here at my own company at TBLX, every year we have interns coming from some universities, and we do provide them lots of hands-on support for the projects, and they work on our day-to-day projects. So if you can find this type of hands-on, like Lenny said, hands-on projects that you can start working on and get real experience on how data works, on how specific models work, then this is probably the way to go. Always remember that this is going to be a journey where your motivation is going to be the prime factor, because it's not going to be easy. So if you can go back to college, if you can go to get some training on this, and find a supportive company to work for.
Thank you, João. We are now past our time. So one last question and we'll wrap this up. I would go for this one. Erwin asks, how do you incorporate the human interaction with the data or system effect, which could potentially provide random results? And the example is left field impact. So something that will allow AI or system to learn and be able to deal with this occurrence. So I think that let's focus here on the first part of the question. How do you incorporate human interaction with the data or system effect, which could potentially provide random results?
It's a bit of a generic question. If you're talking about human interaction, let's say, what is it, speech or written text, then you already have some very good technologies on NLP. The randomness of the input usually gets, if it's normal, then you get it to be evened out throughout the interaction. So most of the times these mature models will already take that into consideration. But I would like to have a bit more of context in this question.
Yeah, it was a broad question, but however, guys, I don't want to really want to stop on time. I'm not very Portuguese with this. I will thank you very much, Lenia, Miguel, João, and everybody who was watching us. It was a great talk, at least for me. I learned a lot with you guys. Danielle, thank you very much. Isabel, congratulations for winning the challenge. Guys, we shared the link to the Isabel's project. It's very, very interesting. I'm really sorry you couldn't see the presentation, but please go and check that out. And thank you very much. This is great. I love these events. So that's it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.